What's up, YouTube? This is the Riptide. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I've actually been on YouTube in its entirety, but I'm back now, and I've brought a special friend along.
Hi, it's T from Tionna Ball. It used to be Tionna's Doll Factory, but we had a name change.
She still has her channel up. She does like vlogs like almost every couple of days. It's actually some pretty interesting stuff. You guys should check out her channel if you have time. But as you can see, we're not really talking about vlogs at the moment. We're here to discuss movies. And if any of you are expecting The Hunt or Bloodshot, not yet, not yet. We're actually going to take this movie review is actually going to take us back to the past. But
Way early 2000s past to be exact.
and I'll give you guys a little bit of a guess. It has Disney Channel involved.
We're all in this together, and we know who we are. We're all stars when we see it.
Yes. Yep. It just had to be High School Musical. It just had to be. And this was like a really big hit for Disney and like fans alike. I mean, like fans went crazy for this trilogy. I mean, it started a freaking phenomenon. Last time I checked, it even got like a Broadway show or something. I don't know.
Wait, we went to Broadway for real?
Based on my recollection, yeah.
Okay.
I guess it really was that popular.
So, without further ado, it's time to tackle on the plot.
Yeah. This movie's, well, they don't really call it High School Musical for nothing. So it's basically that in the title. There are about six main characters: Troy, Gabriella, Sharpay, Evan, Chad, and Taylor.
You forgot Ryan.
I said Ryan.
Oh.
I said Ryan.
Ryan has to be appreciated. He's not appreciated throughout all three movies until we get to like the very end.
So the basic synopsis of the plot is that Troy and Gabriella, Zac Efron and
Vanessa Hudgens,
respectively, they just so happen to run into each other at this New Year's Eve party, and they are chosen to do a duet together. And they're both pretty shy at first, but eventually they start to grow out of their shells and they get to know each other a little better. About like a week or two later, they just so happen to be going to the same school. Like it's like the second half of the semester, and turns out Troy is one of the top stars in the basketball team, and Gabriella's the brainiac. This causes a bit of an issue because there's a championship game coming up, and there's also the Calathon or whatever. But then there's the problem with Sharpay and Ryan. Oh, Jesus Christ! These two characters, I'm not even making this up. These two are.
I love every minute of them being on screen.
I'm just telling you right now, Sharpay stole the entire show. Every time she came on screen, I mean, Ashley Tisdale.
She was really in tune.
That goes with the rest of the acting. Also, every single one of these characters. I mean, every single one of these characters are like the most inviolable version of their cliche you can possibly get, but they embrace it like 110%. Speaking of cliches, yeah, this entire movie is like chock to the brim full of cliches. It's basically what you expect. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's corny, blah 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 blah.
But it's a guilty pleasure.
And not to mention the film is actually being very self-aware of the fact that it's dumb and it's stupid and it's corny and all the other stuff. It's very tongue-in-cheek, very cheesy. It knows that, it embraces that, like
Don't forget we have to have a dance break every like 10 to 15 minutes.
I don't really know that I don't really know if I can call them dance breaks, because I'm pretty sure Sharpay and Ryan were doing like most of the dancing here.
They just break out in song. And I don't know how my third grader energy was able to keep up, because I was looking at it and I'm like,
So basically, this entire thing is going along. There's this Troy and Gabriella want to get into the musical, except there's this kind of
It's only room for one.
I don't really know if I say strict music teacher, but I guess I can call it that because she's also over the top and rather overly dramatic in a lot of ways.
She's the original who set it off for theater teachers coming behind her. She showed them how it's done. She was very serious about the art, and I was like, I feel that.
That's A for effort and a lot of dedication. I'll tell you that much. Speaking of which, I want to just say that in this entire smorgasbord of cliches, we'll get to that in a little bit. It is nice that this movie actually breaks a couple of cliches, specifically with Troy and Gabriella joining the musical because they're like in higher up positions. You know, basketball star. The
leader of the decathlon.
It's nice to actually see these two like go down a little bit and actually try like a lesser tier position simply because they want to. You know, normally in movies like this, it's the other way around. The less popular guy becomes more popular. So it's sort of like.
And then they do something stupid, and then everybody hates them.
That thing kind of happens here, though.
It's true, but he was set up.
Like almost like an hour in. Another thing I also like, this does also bring up a little bit of what happens when it comes to peer pressure. It just doesn't go as deep as I would have liked it to, but because then again, it is a bit of a Disney Channel.
Exactly, we're not doing too much. It's going to be known as peer pressure, but it's not going to be.
This thing was like 2006. May I remind you? Okay, so these kind of things were
like they're literal friends. Actually, now I look back, they're friends. Like they should not be friends with their friends. They literally wanted to pull them apart because they felt like Troy was giving up on the basketball team, and they felt like Gabriella was trading her book smarts for a guy.
What did Taylor call him? Like a basketball star.
Yeah. It kind of like they were bullies to each other if you think about it. Like I know that's a stretch, but hear me out. So. The math geeks, I use this term loosely, no insult to anybody that's smart. They're calling them basically lugheads, Neanderthals, and basically dumb and stupid.
There's this whole like evolution phase that sort of goes into it. There's literally a song like almost halfway through where everyone just in the cafeteria just like breaks out in song, and there's like a song like sticking to the status quo, and I'm like, what? Since when does any high school nowadays actually sing about that?
It just gets crazy. And then the basketball team.
That's so out of left field.
They're just like, no, you can't do any of this theater stuff. It's going to take away from our championship.
And not another word.
I'm like,
what is going on?
What high school?
What is
First
this?
of all, it's a 2-floor lunch cafeteria. What high school is doing this?
Again, this is the kind of cheesy and over the top stuff that just makes you look back and you're like, what am I watching? I mean, granted, it's done in an over the top way. You can't really like take it all that seriously. And literally, like within like I guess like 1-2 seasons, they start feeling guilt almost immediately. I'm like, what's
like, oh, we really messed up. I really think we should take it back. Like,
it took you like 10 minutes, like depending on,
I think it was like a week or two in their time, but like 10 minutes in our time.
I couldn't really tell because the transition. It's almost like, is this supposed to be like the same day? Because wait, they changed clothes actually.
Yeah, so it has to be like
they did change clothes. It must have been like a week or two or something.
That's another thing I got a problem with this movie for. Looking back, it's so many outfit changes every like other frame. Like
you can't necessarily. I guess you can't necessarily tell when and where it's happening.
Like, you don't know if it's a week later, a month later, a year later. You just know some time don't went past.
It's a lot.
But the movie does have redeeming qualities. The characters are iconic. Like, you know, just mention Sharpay and you know Fabulous from High School Musical 2, Boy the Dog.
I remember that song being a lot better when I was younger.
The pink locker, the iconic pink car. Like, these characters are iconic.
Evaporate, tall person!
I laughed so freaking hard at that.
There was also a freaking like Charlie's Angels line in there.
Oh yeah, because Taylor, not Taylor, dang, Chad was like, all right, I'll see you in 0600 hours.
And he was like he was doing like this whole super spy thing, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you're literally doing you're literally doing the opposite of what you doing.
And then I noticed something. Sharpay and Zeke had a thing going on throughout the movies.
I literally saw like a post on Twitter, some that said Sharpay and Zeke had like more chemistry than like Troy and Gabriella did like in the whole movie. And their scenes lasted for like no less than like what 10-15 seconds at best.
And I'm just like, okay.
I guess I can sort of see that.
I don't, now that I look back on it, why didn't they get together by the end of it? Why?
I don't know if it's just me. I thought they did, honestly.
I gotta look back and see. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong though, but I didn't think they did. Maybe they did. It's been like a decade since I watched the movies. We just recently watched them again. But their scenes were only like 15 seconds. Like, he put some type of dessert in her locker as a secret admirer, and he was like, "Oh," she was like, "These are the best cookies I've ever had."
And that's they're like at the very end of the movie. Like, these cookies are genius. I'm like, what is
Get you a Zeke and Sharpay.
It's like is she on a sugar rush or something? This damn movie.
This movie was pretty iconic though. Like, the songs are pretty memorable, a couple of them, and then a couple of them fall flat. But overall, I'd say it's a guilty pleasure and is iconic and remembered for several reasons.
There was a lot of creativity put into both the set and the costume design as a whole, and the choreography and like the dance scenes in particular. They were just, I wouldn't go so far to say they were the best I've ever seen, but they were pretty damn good, at least for 2006. And as far as it's okay if you don't necessarily like this movie for how bloated and corny and cheesy it is, but I can't necessarily bring myself to hate it, because if I were to do that, it'd be like you're hating Saved by the Bell, except High School Musical is more or less, it's like this generation Saved by the Bell. Not to mention, it sort of brings us back into like our own little vivid imagination, in which we sort of thought that high school was actually going to be something like what they showed in High School Musical, and it's sort of...
I practiced for so long to not even crack open one of these dance moves.
Such over the top.
But I'm glad we don't have to sing every lunch period, because I don't have a singing voice.
It's in such an over the top, glorified fashion. You really can't take the movie any seriously. There's a lot to enjoy, but there's also a lot of nitpicks that sort of, I guess the jokes that don't land and the other stuff do sort of bring down the overall quality. But then again, it's a Disney Channel movie, and they know exactly what they were doing. They embraced it for what it was and never shied away and tried to be something more. I can definitely appreciate that.
So, final ranking?
I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
If I get rid of the nostalgia part,
if you do get rid of the nostalgia goggles, but even if you don't, I guarantee you'll still find always something wrong.
I give it like a 7.5. I mean, if I take the nostalgia goggles off and how like I had High School Musical glasses as a kid, then I'd say we can give it a 7.5.
And given that I didn't necessarily get all that into High School Musical as a kid, and only started to like get into it like after the series ended, it was sort of like, okay, I sort of see why people like this a lot.
So that was all for today's video. I'm Tionna,
the Riptide,
and we'll see you in our next video.